Grandmaster End Game Anthem action. That is what you all are about to witness in this video. Mass chaos, massive difficulty, monster destruction. What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo. Welcome to End Game Anthem. This is crazy. First off, big thanks to EA Gamechangers for flying me to San Francisco so that I could check this all out and bring it to you. Let's start from the beginning, though. That is a taste, a morsel of the madness that is to come. We're playing with 4 people, a full squad of Javelin on Grandmaster difficulty in endgame contract called Threat Assessment Confront Dire Situations Beyond the Wall. Not looking good for our heroes. At level 30, things get insane, especially on the big boy difficulty.
I've got reports of Shaper Relic reactivated itself lately. It needs to be silenced.
Alright, so we gotta travel to the Shaper Relic, silence the volatility, and try to survive. We threw things on the hardest difficulty as soon as we got access to the endgame because we wanted to see exactly what this would be like when you do reach level 30, when you max out your Javelin, when you have masterwork abilities and epic weapons. What is it like? First off, hope you really enjoy my gorgeous looking storm here, rocking the red and gold like it is some sort of Lunar New Year party. We're casting an ultimate right from the get-go. Let me tell you, the battles on Grandmaster at endgame are insane. The enemies take so much damage. You have to be so just precise and dynamic and fast with your movements. You can't stay in the same place for too long. You gotta have a good mix of Javelin, and you have to be ready to help each other out. If you guys enjoy the video, definitely hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. Let me know what other Anthem endgame stuff you'd like to see, any questions you may have. We're throwing down all of our abilities. I've got lovely ice shards to try and freeze in place. I've got a flame field for max damage. You can see there's another storm with me flying in the distance, trying to damage what we've got going on. This is the first chunk of the contract. We're trying to recover a couple of these fragments, as well as take out the Scourge that is annoying the heck out of all of us. You can see our friends and our foes lurking beneath. I feel like Storm are absolutely necessary for these types of missions because they can pour in the elemental damage in huge bursts, but even that sometimes doesn't feel like enough. I was pretty blown away by how intense this stuff gets. I feel like there is quite the jump from normal to hard, and then maybe even a bigger jump from hard to Grandmaster. To put this in perspective, I was able to accomplish this contract solo on normal without dying. I got through it quite quickly. When I kicked it up to Grandmaster and brought in 3 friends, things got insane. As you can see, I am pouring ammunition into these tanks. We're rupturing his spirit with electricity, ultimates, and more, and they still don't go down. Now, one thing that was a bit of a bummer, and granted this is just one contract, but to keep it real with you, I wish there was more enemy variety, because we've seen guys like this at the lower levels, and maybe different missions will have more, and they only wanted to show us certain creatures and whatnot. It was a curated event, of course, with specific content and specific missions that we could play, but I hope there's more creature variety. I know they've already discussed bringing more creatures to the post-game plans, but I really hope that they do bring in additional enemies, because besides just pouring bullets, it would be nice to mix up the strategies. And we've got a healthy mix, though, of the enemies that are there, I will say. Scorpions, Scars, Big Brutes, Flying Fiends, all sorts of stuff as we continue to gather these fragments and defeat the targeted Scar. You can just tell how hard it is to rupture the shields, and you really are going to need to put together a perfect loadout. I went through all of the level 30 Max Javelin loadouts earlier today. You can go see that video if you want, link in the description, and get an idea of what I have equipped with my Storm right now. It's all high level gear, it's all high level components. I've got mostly epics and some masterworks. We were seeking a legendary. That was the impetus behind putting this on Grandmaster, because that would be our best bet at getting a legendary to drop. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get one. In fact, I don't think anyone at my particular event did get a legendary drop, which shows that they are rare and going to be quite coveted. But we did get a bunch of masterworks, which have their own special skills and boosts and bonuses and really help out. I'm trying to pour ice, so is my Storm compatriot, and we finally defeated the targeted Scar. We still have more fragments to get. Let's focus on those. The freeze is so important. Whether you're going to have the freeze field or the ice shards, I feel like you gotta have that. It feels like it might be a little overpowered, but as of right now, it is definitely a necessary part of any hard mission loadout. Alright, let's drop our 6th fragment in, and this should... Yeah, stop the relic. Alright.
Right. Now take out those active hostiles.
We still have more hostiles to take out, and they are just coming. We can keep all of our stuff coming, but it takes a lot, and that's honestly why I broke up this gameplay a bit and made some cuts, because these battles are so elongated and so extended on Grandmaster. I like how they have the little mini like GPS for each of your co-op partners there. You see the name, and then you see where they're at. Now, right now, they're all right beneath me, so it's not showing much, but I like that you can kind of get a little ping on where your friends are. We take out that javelin, and we've just about cleared the area. A couple more back by where the Shaper Relic once wobbled. And I will activate my ultimate. Now look at this. That is all 3 ultimate bursts fired and centralized on one enemy, and it still didn't take him out. He still has some health, and other players were pouring damage in as well, simultaneously. So strong.
A Sentinel raid is starting soon. They could use your firepower.
Okay, on my way.
Alright, so now we are going to go try and support a Sentinel Assault Team's raid.
Point. Help the Sentinels clear out those scorpion eggs.
Alright, so before we get to the Sentinel Assault Team's raid staging area, we got to take out some scorpion eggs. Once we get to their little point of conflict, there will be a boss baddie. Now, not as big as a stronghold boss, but definitely a foe I had not faced before. And on Grandmaster, goodness gracious, it felt like I was at Chuck E. Cheese and every game was rigged, because these dudes just had so much health and so much power. First, though, we got to finish off these bugs. They aren't so bad. They don't have a whole lot that they can do to you when you are flying high above, so as long as we stay elevated, we are able to eviscerate to the best of our abilities. You can see we got our Storm launching ultimate action there, challenging ourselves to build our skills, acquire our XP, and really push for Masterworks and hopefully mastery of this difficulty. Alright, a lot of damage being dealt to me. You have to be protective of your shield here and of your health if you want to survive. A lot of us were going down throughout the battle, and getting there and getting quick pickups is incredibly important, because if you leave the fight to be 2 javelin on the enemy, 3 javelin on the enemy, it's going to go from bad to worse real quick. So making sure that everyone stays up as quickly as possible is incredibly important, especially when you have guys like the Interceptor down there getting in close and personal and really trying to deal massive damage, but at the risk of taking the brunt of it up close. So you can see we've got a Storm, we've got an Interceptor, we've got a Colossus right there, and then we have me, a second Storm, getting some drops, a whole lot of epics.
Finished. Right?
And now
Another problem, I'm afraid.
we can move on.
Sentinels transporting Shaper fragments just put out a distress call. Check it out.
Okay.
To protect the cargo, and this will be where things get insane. Now these guys here at this big cave, this area, holy guacamole, absolutely intense. A legendary Scar Hunter here. Look at how much we are pouring into these guys, and look how resilient they are. This is everybody trying our best. It looks like the Colossus is off in the background trying to eliminate some smaller foes, but we got 3 level 30 Javelin, all with Masterwork gear. And this dude, he's frozen in place, which some of you may say, hey, that's kind of overpowered that we can just literally lock him in place and not do anything. But even still, even in spite of him not being able to move, look how much health he has. Look how much we are pouring into him. It is a freaking fireworks show. Goodness gracious, you thought Kingdom Hearts 3 had a lot of spectacle and shine. When you have multiple Storm on Grandmaster, it is like Disney at night, pouring all sorts of particles onto that person. And here comes the big boy. This is a monster type creature that you're gonna see emerge. First, a few more basic Scar, but get ready for madness as they drop in their absolutely legendary Ascari, which is this huge tank robot Metal Gear looking monstrosity that is able to fire so much. And I compare him to a boss just because he's able to deal mondo damage from every direction. He has incredibly powerful Gatling guns. He's got a laser beam that is devastating, and you have to dodge. You got to try to stay away. And he also has an absolutely insane health bar that is going to take all of us to try to get down. I didn't know where to focus my efforts, if I should be looking to eliminate some of these smaller foes so we weren't getting cherry-picked from behind, or if I should be focusing all my effort on the Ascari, but it's so strong. Like, I literally did barely any damage. And after a whole lot of time, we still couldn't take this dude out. Look how little we're doing, and this just shows that at Grandmaster difficulty, you really are gonna have not just your hey, we got the level 30 and we have gear, but you're gonna have to assemble a near perfect loadout and put together a plan and a group of javelin and a group of gear that is really catered to what you're trying to do, and really be not only proficient but patient to take these out. How do you guys feel so far seeing some of the end game contracts, the missions here, level 30, the enemies, the difficulty, the time? What are your thoughts? I'm curious to know if you think this is too much, if it's good that it's this difficult, or if the way that they've handled it leaves something to be desired. I'm curious to know your take. We're getting absolutely bombarded, and that is going to be a critical failure. Hopefully someone comes and grabs me soon so that we can get back to trying to take out this Ascari. It was daunting, and I'd say hard and Grandmaster, like, there's a big difference, because hard is, you have to, you know, be attentive, but it's totally accomplishable. And then you kick it up to Grandmaster, and it's just like, holy crap. As you can see, we're doing everything we can with top tier gear to try and finish these foes, and it just ain't happening, at least not to the speed with which we expected, with which we liked. I kind of like that there is something that is this difficult and that leaves you trying to put together, like I said, that arsenal, that loadout that would make this workable and would make it something that you and your team could take out. Honestly, the early encounters in this contract were doable, and we got through them. They took time, but we got through them. It was just once they dropped in this Ascari here in this Sentinel stronghold, man, just so much damage and from so many angles, and so tough, and eventually we got to the point where we're like, you know what? This just may not be accomplishable, and we've been playing the game for a long time, and there are 4 of us, so we could have probably struggle bust our way through, picking each other up and trying just to deal as much damage as possible. We decided if we all go down, then we'll bail, because it's just insane. And now you have all these other Scar in the back who are trying to cause difficulty on top of the Ascari difficulty. I'm failing, other Javelin are failing, we're all falling apart, and that is going to bring our Grandmaster contract attempt to a halt. I'm sure there are other groups that were able to get it done, but man, they really packed the pain on this one, and it was a lot of fun to just bull rush in and see if we could beat it. And I'm happy, I think, to say that on our first try we weren't able to. So those legendary loot drops will have to be saved for later. For now, though, everybody, that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button if you're loving the Anthem content and want to see more. I'll bring it your way soon. Plenty more to talk about endgame-wise, and plenty more to discuss as we lead up to the full launch of the game. In the meantime, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Drink some hot chocolate, and until next time, we will see you all alive.